Manga spoilers, by the way. After the fight between Joker and his doppelganger ending with Burns coming back to stab him in the back literally, we see Burns and the real Joker talking about how there's still two doppelgangers that the Cataclysm has called and that there's nothing short of powerful. As this conversation is going on, we see Oguru tell Kurono to cooperate with the Special Fire Force and get rid of the remaining doppelgangers. Kurono refuses due to the fact that the remaining doppelgangers are bound to be strong, but Oguru reminds him that if their company vanishes along with the world, he won't have anywhere to go. As Nataku wishes Kurono good luck, he goes trying to find them. But in that moment, we see something land right behind it, and as Kurono turns around to see what it is, we see the cynical smile of the god of destruction, Benimaru's doppelganger. As Kurono questions why the doppelganger had to come to him as he was planning to skip out on work, we see the doppelganger request a fight out of Kurono. Kurono then declines, saying that he only fights people weaker than him, but doppelganger Benimaru doesn't care and decides to swing on him anyways. As Kurono launches himself up into the air to get away, we see Doppelganger Benny right on his tail as he blitzes right in front of him and uses Kagetsu on him. Kurono manages to block it just in time by creating Tone Fuzz with his ability. As Doppelganger Benny is about to hit Kurono with Form 5, Sunset, we see Kurono use Hidden Eclipse, but sadly, this attempt won't work because Benny could control all ignition abilities within a diameter of 23 Shaku and 2 suns. As Kurono finally sees this guy as a walking cheat code, we see Kurono use his weapon to block the anticipated attack from Doppelganger Benny. But not even a second later, we see Doppelganger Benny cancel out his weapons as he proceeds to smack Kurono down to a nearby building. As Kurono manages to break his fall a little bit by using his ignition ability, he contemplates that this fight in and of itself is completely one-sided, and if it continues, it'll put a stain on his career. As Doppelganger Benny floats in the air menacingly, asking Kurono if that's all he's got, Kurono tries to surrender peacefully, saying how he can't believe he got compared to a monster like him. But that's when Doppelganger Benny tells him that he won't stop until he's destroyed everything, as he is the king of destruction. As Kurono tries to make a smokescreen to escape, we see Doppelganger Benny blitz right behind him, stating that he won't let Kurono escape as he proceeds to absolutely pulverize Kurono with overwhelming strength. As Kurono's back is literally against the wall, he claims to this situation to be unfair. And right as we're about to see Doppelganger Benny and Kurono with Form 4, Burning Sun, Kurono notices something in the distance, that being the real Benimaru. He then yells out to the real Benimaru to stop watching and to switch places with him. As the real Benimaru assumed that it would be rude to butt into others' fights, he then accepts this request from Kurono and tags in. As both Benimarus try to greet each other, Kurono asks the real Benimaru if he can win this fight, being that this doppelganger is supposed to be as powerful and terrorizing as both the people of Asakusa and the Empire alike think of him. But the real Benny says that if it was someone other than him, he'd be sure that he'd win the fight. But he's gonna have to fight him before he can give him an answer. As the doppelganger requests a fight from the real deal, Benimaru accepts this challenge, stating that the man in charge of Asakusa is supposed to be the strongest, so whoever wins this fight will be considered the real deal. As we see both Benimarus in the air about to fight, we see the real Benimaru state that he doesn't like anything bothersome and that whoever wins gets to be the real Benimaru. As Doppelganger Benny agrees with the real Benny about hating anything bothersome, he then says that he can't do anything half-hearted if he wants to beat himself. And as he calls on a bunch of flames, he then uses his Nichirin, calling the real Benimaru's Nichirin a cheap trick. The real Benimaru questions his doppelganger on if he's trying to set the whole planet on fire, but that's when the doppelganger states that he's gonna end the real Benny along with the whole planet, saying that it'll be worthy of the name Destroyer. As he says this, we see his Nichirin form around the whole planet like a ring, claiming that this is a real Nichirin. Everyone on Earth is frightened by the sight of this Nichirin, as it's way greater than the real Benimaru's. As we cut back to the doppelganger Benny, we see him tell the real Benimaru that this will be the biggest firework in the lifetime of Shinmon Benimaru. And as we see him say farewell to the real Benimaru, right as he's about to set off his Nichirin, we see the real Benimaru effortlessly slice through this doppelganger in a second. As the people of Asakusa begin to cheer for the real Benimaru as it only took 1 second to take down his count, we see the Doppelganger confused as he begins to disintegrate, being that he's supposed to be the materialization of the strongest in the minds of everyone in the Empire. But that's when we see the real Benimaru say that everyone must think he's weaker than he actually is. And as he tells everybody in Company 7 off for thinking so weak of him, as he says that he's Shinmon goddamn Benimaru, we see his doppelganger say that he's even stronger than what humanity thinks is the strongest, as he completely disintegrates right after. Benimaru then says that he hopes to fight a copy that actually matches his strength another time, but since this is the end of his fight, we see him look up to the giant eyeball in the sky, leaving the rest up to our main protagonist, Shinra Kusakabe. Hey guys, DarkheroJosh here, and I hope that you enjoyed the video on the back-to-back fights between Doppelganger Benny and Kurono, and Doppelganger Benny versus the real Benny. Although they happen to be pretty short, if you enjoyed the video that much, then please go ahead and leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and comment down below what other moments from Fire Force do you guys want to see next on the channel. And without further ado, I hope you guys have a great day, and see ya.